Would you buy a home where violent crime is double the provincial average? What if I told you some people already have and didn't even know it? One area in the Greater Toronto area has spiked in crime, and it's absolutely disgusting to see. And I'll reveal which one it is and the most crime-riddled area in Canada. And a hint, it's not Toronto or Vancouver. This might actually shock you like it shocked me. We'll get into all of that in this episode. But it's no surprise that many of you watching today can say that crime has ticked up in your city or town. I can definitely say that in my area. It's the new norm, to get your car stolen from your driveway or get hijacked on the road. I wish that was a joke. Many parents who once let their kids freely play outside now have anxiety on the what ifs. There was this young boy who was walking home from school in York Region last year. There was an attempt to abduct him. Luckily, he got away and he ran to the neighbor's house. But it shocked that once quiet community. Now many parents arrange for their kids not to walk, but to get driven to and from school. And not to mention, the many families who learned about this event stay so far away from it, let alone buy into it. Crime affects many facets of life. What happened to the good old days? When you used to leave your doors unlocked, or you leave your kids unattended, not having thoughts of abduction? How times have changed. Some people have developed PTSD over crime that's unfortunately made them a helpless victim, sometimes repeatedly victims of crime, especially in thefts. I'm Linda, one of the Ragona Sisters, and around here, we keep it real. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe because I'm breaking down Ontario's crime map and how it can save or how it can cost you tens of thousands of dollars on your next move. This video is for you if you're buying or maybe investing or just watching the market and wondering which areas are safe to live in now and which to be very cautious of because there's quite a few nowadays. If you want the no fluff breakdowns of real estate in plain English, this is the place to be. Now, let's reveal the most crime-riddled area in Canada. Are you ready for this? In 2024, it was Winnipeg, not Ontario, not BC. Winnipeg topped the nation with 675 violent crimes per 100,000 people. This is rated the most dangerous major metro area. Are you surprised yet? Now, let's be honest. Part of why crime feels more rampant is not just the economy. It's because recent federal policy changes have made it easier for repeat offenders to be released on bail. That's not speculation, guys. It happened in 2019. The government of Canada updated federal legislation to allow bail, not jail. And at the time, critics said it still leaves too much room for repeat offenders to re-enter communities before trial. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. Here's an interesting stat. Repeat offenders now account for 1 in 6 serious crimes in Canada. And many of them, guess what? They were out on bail. Thank you, Canadian government, for keeping us safe. Crime isn't just a safety issue, it's an economic one. It affects your buyer behavior, pricing, insurance, and yes, your long-term appreciation. Just to elaborate on insurance, insurers analyze your postal code when quoting your premium. If you live in high crime areas, expect higher premiums in both car and house insurance. If you're making the biggest purchase of your life, crime data should definitely be part of your research, especially now. I wouldn't have said this 10 years ago, believe me when I say that. It should be another element of your budgeting. It should be part of your monthly costs when deciding on your next home. Here's what the numbers are telling us on the crime data. When you look at this data, it's viewed as a Crime Severity Index, also known as CSI. This isn't just a count of crimes, it's a weighted index. It considers both the volume and the severity of the crimes. So for example, serious crimes like homicides, assaults, and armed robbery are weighed more heavily. A higher crime index means more frequent and more dangerous crimes. And to put this all into context, the National Average Crime Severity Index in 2024 overall was 77.9 per 100,000 people. The violence score is over 100 per 100,000 people. Now that we got that out of the way, let's take a look at some other areas, shall we? Thunder Bay, beautiful views, strong community, but in 2024, it recorded a violent crime severity index of over 540. That's significantly higher than Toronto's 462. Kitchener, Cambridge, and Waterloo, fast, growing, tech-friendly, and yes, also posting a crime severity index of over 400. It's higher than you'd expect from such a progressive region. Still a great place to live? Absolutely. But data-savvy buyers should know what they're stepping into. Let's keep going. London and Sudbury, both strong mid-sized cities, both now have violent crime severity indexes of over 400. Again, these aren't war zones by any means. One buyer I work with loved a Sudbury bungalow until her insurer quoted a 15% higher premium. Why? It was her postal code. And one of the key words here is perception, because it doesn't always matter what the actual data says. What matters is what buyers believe. And if a neighborhood is known for break-ins or late-night violence and is always on the news, even if those stats are outdated or repeated, it impacts how people feel. And how people feel impacts how they bid or how they don't bid. Now, how about Toronto? Toronto gets a bad rep. They're always on the news. But statistically, it's safer than many other cities in Canada. Its homicide rate is consistently lower than Winnipeg's, Regina's, and Saskatoon's. And yes, even Thunder Bay. Don't judge a city purely on media coverage, but perception matters too. And earlier when I mentioned a city in the GTA that has exploded in violent crimes, it's no other than Peel Region, specifically Mississauga and Brampton. Who's surprised on that one? I mean, Brampton's been in the news so much lately. The violent crimes in 2024 increased alone by 20%. I'd really love to see the updated numbers on Brampton for 2025. Now let's flip the script and talk about cities doing it right. Barrie, that one's a true gem. In 2023, Barrie's CSI was just 48. That's significantly lower than Thunder Bay's. It's not just safer, it's growing, and that makes it a top pick for families and investors alike. I've helped 3 families relocate from the GTA to Barrie this year just because it's not only more affordable, but it's peace of mind. They all had families and it was security for them. Then there's Oakville and Burlington. Yes, they're priced a lot higher than Barrie, but these suburbs combine affluence, accessibility, and safety. Their CSI index is around 31.2. That's where you see value. Buyers are willing to pay for peace of mind. Ottawa and Quebec City, they also have a low crime rate. Ottawa's at 55.3 and Quebec City is even lower. And that consistency in public safety supports a really strong real estate market. And what about mid-sized cities like Kingston or Guelph? They're not flashy, but their crime severity index hovers around 56. They're often overlooked, but they're sweet spots, places where you get livability, growth, and relatively low crime. So let's go deeper. Social economics play a massive role here. Higher unemployment, poverty, and lack of access to education can all fuel crime. Demographics all play a major role as well. Cities with more young adults, especially under 25, statistically see more criminal activity. And let's not forget community infrastructure. Cities that cut programs or delay housing development tend to have crimes rise. But, and this is key, cities are responding. Toronto's neighborhood officer program is a great example. They embed officers in same zones for years to prevent crimes before they happen. And Peel, they've adopted crime prevention through environmental design. I actually like this one. Better lighting, visibility, secure walkways, well-maintained parks. Mississauga runs a safe city. It trains residents in crime prevention and neighborhood engagement. Barrie, they're leaning into after-school programs. I really like this one. Mentorship and youth mental health outreach programs. Hamilton's tackling it from another angle. They're investing in transitional housing and addiction programs to reduce repeat offenses. And Durham region, they've launched a pilot project integrating social workers into emergency response programs. In Windsor, police have introduced a real-time crime center that uses predictive analytics to deploy resources more efficiently. That's interesting. Coming up, I'll tell you how one buyer saved $50,000 by using crime stats to negotiate. But first, let's talk about the real estate impact. A house isn't just a structure, it's a location. And that location means community, schools, parks, services, and yes, your safety. Because buying a home isn't just a financial decision, it's an emotional one. It's where you live, it's where you raise your family, it's where you go to when you had a long day at work. It's your sanctuary. So if you're choosing between two properties and one is in an area with a crime severity index of over 500, and there's another area that's in the 100s and it's a little higher, you owe it to yourself to ask, what's peace of mind worth to you? That's not to say high crime severity index areas have no future. That's not what I'm saying at all. Some of them actually are incredible investment opportunities. If you're informed, strategic, and supported by people who know the landscape, you can catch yourself a good deal. Now, here's a story. We had a buyer that was looking in an area where there was a slew of crimes in the last 2 weeks. We attached the crime map to the offer, and we used it to negotiate. And you know what? She actually got an additional $50,000 more off the price. It was a good negotiation day for the buyer. The salesperson never saw a strategy like that, but you know what? It worked. So here's what I'm suggesting. If you're considering buying in a particular area, look up crime data among the many variables that it can affect your home's value. We do this every day for our clients, especially investors that are looking long term. Contact us if you're looking for good areas in and around the GTA and need a hand to buy smarter and safer. Because safety isn't a luxury, it's foundational. And the more informed you are, the better you'll negotiate, the better you'll sleep, and the better your future looks. So is Ontario dangerous? Not exactly, but it's changing, and it's uneven. And it's definitely a different Canada than 10 years ago. And yes, I strongly agree that the federal government needs to get rid of garbage policy that's enabled crime. Just look at the crime maps. It's disgusting. And there's no change up to this point, which makes you wonder why. So guys, if you got value out of this video, please hit subscribe. It's how the content reaches more smart, capable, community-focused buyers like you. And next week, I'm diving into 3 specific Greater Toronto neighborhoods where safety upgrades, not just renovations, are pushing prices up. You won't want to miss it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.